Hello YouTube, this is What If Deku Was a Ghoul. This isn't my What If Deku Was a CCG agent one. No, this is What If Deku Was a Ghoul. My voice my voice is going through another change. So yeah. So our boy Deku, he grows up normally, no quirk, which quirks are still a thing in this, and heroes are still a thing in this. It's just that there is a thing called, well, there are CCG agents, which the CCG agents are highly looked down upon by heroes and people. Not people, but the heroes just don't like the CCG agents because they're too heroic and they don't see the need in killing people, they think the ghouls are people, but they're like, yeah, bad. So our boy Deku is born human. Oh god, I hate that. Anyway, our boy Deku is born human. He is bullied up into his life. So yeah, Deku was bullied nearly his entire life. All the way up to middle school, where the teacher's like, yeah, everyone wants to become heroes. He throws the paper in the air, and yeah. So he's like, yeah, I know you all want to become heroes, as he throws the paper in the air. The only thing different about this timeline is that Toga's in this classroom. So Toga's like, yeah, I don't want to become a hero. And the teacher's like, oh yeah, I know. He wanted to go to as he would say, a high school. And then Toga's like, yeah. And Deku, he's just sitting there. Deku, he admires heroes. He doesn't admire CCG agents. But he's really going to hate them when he becomes a ghoul because they won't stop hunting him down. Anyway, so there have been reports of a ghoul. But the teacher's like, yeah, kids, there have been reports of a ghoul in the area, a binge eater. And the class is like, a binge eater? Yeah, people know what the types of ghouls are, so he's like, a binge eater. So I need you, or I want you, to be as safe as possible, and to not stay out at night, and to report all suspicious activity to the CCG. They're like, CCG? As Bakugo's like, those nobodies, well, those bunch of lame, they're just nothing but a group of murderers. As Toga's like, yeah, I agree, basically, in her head. So Deku's like, I mean, in his head, but Deku would say out loud, accidentally. He's like, but aren't they like a sort of like a type of hero? And Baku's like, what? As after class, Deku would get an ass whooping from Baku. And Toga's like, yeah, you got what you deserve, kid. As she would walk out of the freaking classroom. So Deku got beat up. And yeah, his thing got thrown out the window. It was burnt and it landed in the water. So Deku's like, yeah, alright. As he would go to a cafe, Deku would start to drink, drink his coffee, and then he would leave late at night, because he would know, I'm going to say like he was writing an essay, and he would notice that it was late, so he had to run home. And our boy Deku gets attacked by the binge eater, which you guys should know right by now, it is Rize. So Deku gets attacked by Rize. This will not be a hero what if, in this will be a neutral what if until Deku joins a group of people. So it's not going to be a hero what if, because ghouls are well known in this what if, and people would know what a ghoul's abilities would be like. So our boy Deku, he's attacked by Rize. So Rize bites him like normally. Well, Rize just bites him. Deku pushes her off. Rize runs after Deku, tripping him. As then she would try to bite him again, but Deku would go for a stab towards her head with a pencil, which Rize would block. She's like, oh, you little shit. As she would basically start running after Deku. So the whole thing with the ambulance, like the anvils, or whatever they're called, fall on them. Rize gets crushed, Deku gets hurt. And yeah, he wakes up in a hospital the next, I'm gonna say like 9 months later. And yeah. So Deku gets up. He's like, what? Like, he doesn't feel the difference. But he gets up, he gets discharged from the hospital. He goes home with Inko. So basically Deku, a few weeks pass, but then Deku's like, Actually, no. I'm saying, well, as soon as he gets home and it's late at night, Deku takes a bite out of, well, starts to eat the food that Inko cooked up. Deku eats it, and then he immediately throws it back up. And Inko's like, oh, what? Did I cook your food wrong? Is it raw? And Deku's like, no. He's like, huh, what's happening? As Deku's eating the food, and he's continuously throwing it up. And Inko's like, all right, honey, just go lay upstairs. I'll talk to the doctor tomorrow. And Deku's like, nah. It might be the liver that I got transplanted. It's probably just still settling in my body. As it's been happening every night for an entire week now. So Deku, he starts to go through his phase with what happens when ghouls start to get hungry. They start to hear, like, they start to hallucinate. It starts to drive them crazy. So Deku's basically been fighting that off. He has been out of school for a temporary leave, but yeah, Bakugo has gotten into UA by now. So Deku, he starts to slob, and he's like food, like flesh, basically. And he's actually, I'm gonna say that he leaves the house because, yeah, he's gonna freak out. He's on his way to the doctor's office. So he starts looking around. He's like flesh, basically. In his mind, he's just screaming flesh, 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 until he bumps into a small child. Deku looks down at her, and then he runs away. Deku runs back home. He gets into his room, where then he starts to freak out, like, wait, what's happening, basically? He's just freaking dying. He's eating up everything, and I would say that Inko left for a week, so Deku's basically eating up everything in the house, throwing it back up, and he's like, why is this happening to me? So, yeah, he cleaned it back up a day later, and he stayed in his room because my boy has been starving. He's basically slobbing all the time. His eyes are like bloodshot. And I'm saying Inko walks in, and then Deku's eye transformed to a ghoul. And she was like, what the f? As Deku would charge at her, he would leap onto her, and then he would start, well, I say that he would try to bite her, but then he would fall over due to the hunger. And then Inko's like, what? And there's no way. Hasashi is human, and I'm human. So there's, like, what's happening here? Is a ghoul, is becoming a ghoul, like, has to do with some type of disease or some shit? So she's like, she doesn't know what to do. So Inko's freaking out, and Deku's just on the ground. As then she's like, hold on, honey, I'll call the CCG. And Deku's like, the CCG? As he's like, no, mom, and she would run out of the room. And Inko would call the CCG. As Deku was like, nope. As he would basically leap out his window, Inko would hear this, and she would rush back upstairs to check on her son, which Deku is gone. She's like, huh? As Deku is running through the streets now. As he would run down an alleyway, he would see, I'm gonna say some random ghoul eating someone. That goes like, go away, this guy's mine. Deku's just freaking out, basically. And some I'm gonna say like, Nero. I'm gonna say Nero's a ghoul. So Nero would walk over, and he would kill the guy, and he's like, what the f are you doing in my territory? And then Deku's like, oh. As Nero would just run at Deku, grabbing him and choking him. And he's like, yeah, get out. Nero's Kagane is, Nero's is a Bakaku. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right, which is like a tail Kagane. So he's basically, he doesn't have it out, but he's like, yeah, you're gonna have to die. As he starts to squeeze Deku's head, and I'm say Toga comes out, saves Deku, and she has her ghoul side out. She's like, you're that boy who said the CCG were heroes. Or she would walk away. What was that? You trying to gain more cover or something? And Deku's like, what? And she's like, yeah, whatever, as she would leave. Deku's just looking at the body, and then he'd just run away. As now Deku has been living in an abandoned house for a couple of weeks now, just starving. And I'm gonna say that he's seen Toga at the shop. So Deku's like, maybe she could help. As he would run over there. And he would see Toga outside the door. She's like, what do you want? And Deku would get on his knees. He's like, please, help me. And then Toga's like, no. And then Deku's like, huh? And then she's like, What you do? She's like asking him questions like, "What does cake taste like?" And a bunch of other stuff like, "What does steak taste like?" And then she's like, "Why the would I help you?" And then our boy, I forgot his name. The old dude, I forgot his name. He's basically the one-eyed. He's like basically the owl. The owl. I'm pretty sure that's what he was called. But that guy comes out. He was like, "We gotta help. We gotta help the newbies, basically." Which, actually, he would turn Deku away. And then Deku's like, "Oh, wait, what?" And then he would say, "Sorry, kid. I would help you, but you're too hot." And by hot, I mean like there's like police and heroes on him. And he's like, you've been all over the news. And then I'm gonna say that Bakugo's seen his news, and he's like, "Deku's a ghoul?" And then he's thinking, "Is Deku the binge eater?" And he's like, "Has he been pretending to be weak all along, basically?" So yeah, Deku was turned away from Anteku, and Deku was like, I understand," as he would run away. The old man would be like, "Wait," as he would throw Deku a package, and he's like, "That is all I can give you." As Deku would be like, as he would run away with it. And Deku would run down an alleyway as he would look at the food. And he's like, "This is the only," like, he just starts smelling it, basically. And then he was like, this is human flesh, basically. Deku would know what it is because he smelt it before when Nero killed that guy and Toga saved him. So Deku's like, the only way to live is to fight, basically. So Deku just starts to eat the food. Although he doesn't like what he's doing, but it's like the only way that he can survive. So Deku gets up and he's like, he's just standing in shock. There are other wards. I'm pretty sure Deku is part of the 24th ward. So yeah, Deku's just, the only way to live is to fight, basically. So he just starts to eat the food, the flesh. So he gets up and he's like, "Alright," as he would leave. So Deku is hanging out in his hangout. And Deku's thinking about how he can gain food without having to kill anybody. Because he doesn't want that on his conscience. When I'm gonna say, some teenagers break in. And they're like, "What the f-" as they see Deku. And Deku's like, "Huh?" As they're like, "Hey, ain't that guy on the news?" And they're like, "No way." As I'm gonna say the girl just tried to run away. Deku was like, "Yo, wait, come back." And Deku has used his, I'm gonna say a month's passed since he ran away from Anteku, which ghouls can live up to 1 to 2 months without food. Ghouls can live up to 1 to 2 months with eating a little bit of a human. So Deku's like, basically, he's like, shit. And over those course of 1 to 2 months, Deku has learned how to take out his Kagane, which I'm pretty sure is I forgot, but he has the tail Kagane. He has like the Kagane that Kaneki has, and what's her name, Rize. So he has both those two Kaganes. So Deku takes it out and he reaches towards the girl as he would grab her, and the other guys are like, basically, I'm gonna say one of them had like an emitter type, like a flame quirk. So they would launch it at Deku, and Deku's like, he used one of his Kagane, or one of his limbs to grab the girl, so he would block the flame blast with his remaining 3. Actually, 2, like his remaining 1. So he's basically spinning his tail around rapidly, and Deku's like, yeah, no. As he would launch it over to the guy, hitting him into a wall. So the girl and the guy are just basically freaking out. There are 3 people there. There's a girl, and then there's another guy, but the other guy was knocked out. Deku was like, yeah, sorry. As he would begin to basically hit the other guy, sending him flying out the window. And then Deku would look over to the girl, which he would start to drag towards him. And he would look towards her, and he was like, he's just looking at her, thinking about if he should kill her and eat her. Because he's a ghoul now. He hasn't accepted it, but he's got to live, bro. And he doesn't want to experience him losing his, like, he doesn't want to go insane again from hunger. So So Deku's like, no, as he would throw her to a wall, which she would be injured and basically faint from the pain. So Deku's like, yeah, I gotta get the f out of here. So right now Deku has 2 of the tails instead of 4. So he's like, yeah, I gotta go. So he would run out of there. Deku would move places as the ghoul detectives would go there, and where I'm gonna say that people just like, I'm gonna say like they reported it. So I'm gonna say like, the CCGs do hate ghouls. So they're like, a boy. They're like, none of them were killed in this attack, they so called it. And they shit. I'm gonna say like one of the detectives, the female detective, was like, do you think he was the one kid, the one that women reported missing? And we've already ran her through tests. She and her husband were completely human. So how does a boy become a ghoul? And yeah, the woman's like, if we can get our hands on him, then we can learn more about ghouls than we already know now. So he's like, yeah. As one of them has like a tracker quirk, so they start to track Deku. Because Deku, it already took a long time for him to erase his freaking, to erase his, basically his presence, existence, and everything. So yeah. Deku is running, and I'm gonna say that he runs into an alleyway where he bumps into Shigaraki. I'm gonna say not Shigaraki, but Dabi. So Dabi's like, as he would put his hand up, Deku's like, what? As Dabi would release explode, like I'm gonna say some cremation at Deku, and Deku, he's like, shit. As he would release his Kagane, and he would bounce off the ground with, actually the walls with him. Deku's crawling up the walls with his Kagane. So he's like, this guy, he just tried to kill me. And then Deku's like, yeah. As he's in his mind, he's like, this is a fight or flight situation. 1, this guy can burn me to a crisp in only a few seconds due to how hot his flames are. I'm gonna say Deku looks at his arm, which was hit with the blast, which is basically charcoal. So Deku's like, yeah, I'm a flight. So Deku starts crawling up the wall and he jumps away. And Dabi's like, was that a ghoul? So Deku, as a half human, half ghoul, he does have a very high regeneration, because half ghouls are stronger than pure ghouls for some reason. So Deku has a very, very high regeneration. He has his regeneration even stronger than Kanaki's. So yeah, Deku is basically, he's running now. So he's like, he sits down to rest because he doesn't want to waste too much energy and then have to feed again. So Deku's like, I need to figure out a way to feed without having to kill people. So he's thinking, he's like, I could find bodies that are already dead, but that would take too long, basically. And he's like, I could become a vigilante, and yeah, no, I don't want to kill anybody, basically. So Deku is still trying to figure out a way to where he can get food without having to hurt or to kill someone. So Deku's basically like, I could visit that place again. Then he's like, no, they'll just turn me away again. As he's like, shit, I don't know. He's like, I don't know anything about being a ghoul. I've only been a ghoul for 2 months, and the only thing I've learned how to do, well, the only things that I've learned, because Deku is a very observant person, he learned that he can use, his Kagane. He's learned that ghouls have high regeneration due to him cutting himself on accident. He learned that he has high regeneration. He's also learned that he has super speed and super strength due to him running away from people or just running away in general. He's like, oh. As he's like thinking to himself, he's like, I could just eat other ghouls. And he's like, wait, is that even possible? So Deku's thinking, can he eat other ghouls? As Deku's like, nah. As long as they're not human, it doesn't count, right? Because he doesn't think ghouls are human. And he's like, I'm half human, so that makes me part human, right? As he's basically going crazy right now due to the trauma / his life basically being ruined. He's like, ghouls don't count as people, right? So he's like, I could just eat them, or I could just steal their food. As Deku gets up, he's like, yeah, I'll roll with those. So, I'm gonna have to pause right here because I have to use the bathroom. So Deku, he's like, yeah, I'll roll with the option of stealing food from others or just killing ghouls. And then he's like, but I still don't like to kill things, so I'll only kill things. I'll always try to kill ghouls if it really matters, basically. Like if I'm really starving. He's like, I'll stick to stealing food from now, for now though. So Deku, he's like, all right, I'm starting to get hungry, so I gotta move fast, basically. So he basically jumps off. So Deku is jumping from the buildings, as Deku does have a hoodie on, and he basically senses blood, like smells blood. So he runs over, and he sees a girl. A girl who is being attacked by two ghouls. So Deku's like, alright, all I have to do is wait till they're done killing. Well, wait till they finish killing her, and then I'll just swoop down, take a little piece, and then run away. Can't be that hard, huh? As Deku's just looking there, and the girl, she looks scared. She's basically crying out, and Deku's like, as he's about to jump off, but then he immediately sees that the girl pulled something out, and all of the ghouls' heads go flying off. So Deku is basically, he's like, wait, what? As this girl was a CCG agent, she starts to say, yeah, no luck here. So she would walk away. And she starts to smile, and she's like, oh, it's fun making those, she says it's fun making them feel like they're big and strong. So, yeah, that was a CCG agent. So Deku's like, I am so glad I didn't jump off. So, yeah. Deku's like, yeah, I'm not gonna ever do this again. As he starts to, I'm gonna say he waits for the woman to go away, and he jumps down. He grabs one of their bodies, and he rips off an arm. As he looks at it for a while, he's like, I wonder what it tastes like, as he takes a bite out of it. So he looks at and he's like, it doesn't taste any different from humans, as he starts to eat the bodies. And Deku's like, yeah, I'll stick to eating dead corpses, or eating already dead corpses, or just killing ghouls, which Deku wants to avoid violence, I say, like, for the 1000th time. So Deku jumps off. Well, he jumps up a wall. So Deku is basically, we skip to Bakugo's perspective, which Bakugo hears that Deku. Bakugo's perspective jumps back a lot. So it's basically the day after Deku is presumed, deemed extremely hurt. So Bakugo's like, he was attacked by a ghoul, as he would basically visit the hospital with Mitsuki. And then Bakugo was like, damn nerd. As he's looking at Izuku, he's like, well, hurry up and finish talking to this nobody, so we can get out of here. And Mitsuki's like, shut up, Bakugo. And Bakugo's like, yeah, shut up, you old hag. Bakugo leaves the hospital. Bakugo has gotten the offer of One For All from All Might, which he probably accepts. So, but we skip to the USJ, which Bakugo, it doesn't go differently. Bakugo beats up villains. He arrives. I'm gonna say that Mineta and Sue get hurt. So yeah. Their weapon to fight All Might was a ghoul. So a ghoul with quirks, which ghouls do not have quirks. So ghouls cannot be born with quirks. And humans, there's chances that they're born quirkless like Deku. But ghouls can absolutely not have quirks. And if they do have quirks, it's extremely rare. So it's a ghoul with quirks that were given to it from All Might. From All For One, I mean. So it's basically like a Nomu. So All Might gets into a battle with this thing, which he sustains far more damage than what he did in canon. So our All Might is a little bit more, he's way more freaking injured. So Bakugo's like, damn it. As we are nearing the sports festival, we jump back to Deku's perspective, as Deku's walking around the town. Of course, my man Deku has gotten his hair dyed. Say that he stole some dye, and he dyed his hair. So Deku's like, his hair is white, and Deku is wearing contacts. I'm gonna say that Deku did cut himself in the face, which Deku has the ability to halt his regeneration, so he can stop his regeneration. So Deku's walking around the town with a scar on his face. So Deku, he looks into the window, and he sees the sports festival, and Deku's thinking, yeah, I wanted to be a hero once. And he's like, yeah, it's too hot. I'll just stick to watching it off the TV. As he is bumped by Uraraka. So Deku looks at Uraraka after stopping her from falling, and she's like, oh, hello. Deku's like, oh, hello. And Uraraka's like, hello, as she would walk away from Deku. And Deku's like, huh. As he would look over, and he would see that there's someone passing her, which it is a ghoul. I'm gonna say Uraraka, and I'm gonna say it's Uraraka and I'm gonna say Momo. So they are basically following this ghoul, and the ghoul leads them down into an alleyway, which are like, yeah, this is some real suspect. As Momo is kicked in the face, sending her flying into the alleyway, knocking her out. So Momo is basically knocked out, and Uraraka's like, huh? She was like so surprised. Then she's attacked, which then Deku's like, yeah, I can't have that, as he would block it. And Deku's thinking, oh my god, what the fuck am I doing? I told myself that I wouldn't do this. This is too risky. As Uraraka's like, ghouls. As Deku is basically, instead of Deku, he grabs her with one of his Kagenes and throws her back. As Deku starts boxing with the one guy, which Deku doesn't know any fighting styles. He's just throwing his hands wildly, which is working. He's hitting the guy. As Deku's like, yeah, I guess it's time to... he's like, I guess it's time to build up my body count if I'm going to be a ghoul. Which Deku has been a ghoul for 6 months now. The the sports festival was held back a few months. So Deku basically takes out his Kagane, his 2... I'm going to say his 3 now. And he pierces the guy. And Uraraka's like, she's basically stuttering now. He's like, why would you kill him? And then Deku's like, it's not human. As he looks over at Uraraka, I'm gonna say that he would cover his face, and she can see his half human eye and his half ghoul eye. He's like, it's not human. As the ghoul is basically, he's basically hanging on Deku's Kagane. So Deku's like, shut up. Just be glad that I was... He's like, yeah, just be glad that I was smart enough to know what was going on here. And Deku would throw the ghoul's body against the wall as he pierces it again and again and again with his Kagane. And then Uraraka's basically on the ground just just flipping out. So she's like, that coat, as she would remember Deku's face. As Deku would basically rip the body into threes, and he would walk away. He would run away, actually. So Uraraka's traumatized from this. She's like, just basically traumatized. As she's like, his face. She's like, she looks down at her phone. She's like, should I report him? As she's like, he just saved my life. And she's thinking, he eats humans though. So Uraraka's having a struggle. I'm gonna say some cops ran through the alleyway and they seen them. And they're like, are you okay? And they look over at the body. And one of them fall on the ground. They're like, what the f-? As Uraraka's like, some ghoul attacked us. And then the cops are like, alright, come on. We'll just have to get you guys scanned. As they scan Uraraka and Momo. If they are ghouls, in fact. Which they are not. So Deku, he's walking away from the area, as he bumps into another face. He bumps into Kendo. Which Kendo's like, huh. Alright. Basically, she's like, please watch where you're going, sir. And Deku's like, of course, ma'am. As he would walk past. And Kendo would see a crowd of people, and she would look back at Deku, and she's like, suspicious, basically. And then she would walk away. Deku would walk into an alleyway, and he's like, shit. And then he's grabbing his face, and he's like, that was too reckless. And he's like, I have to abandon this hero mentality that I have. Because it's a dream that I can never, ever, ever reach now. As I'm gonna have to pause it right here. I hope you're enjoying the way, or I hope you're enjoying my story. I really don't like it at this moment, but I don't like a lot of my videos, and you guys still seem to like it, so pause. Sorry. So our boy Deku, he leaves, and he sleeps inside a, I'm gonna say like a tent under a bridge where like homeless people live. So Deku's sitting under there, he's sleeping, and he sleeps a whole day. So I'm gonna have to end it off here due to the fact that I bit the side of my lip, and I don't really know if you guys like the series right now, but I hope you do, and goodbye.